of me. Run through the land, you run through my soul. Bring me wisdom and peace. Run through all ages and all of life's stages. You bring me around to find my release.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest today. We have from Worcester, Darya Kuruna, and I said that right. Darya is a muralist artist, and she has brought some samples of her mural work. I first found out about Darya, welcome Darya, in I think it was one of the Sunday editions of the Telegram and Gazette. Let me make sure. Yeah. It's called Art and Soul, and it's a picture of Darya standing at the Canterbury Street School with the big, huge mural. That was that the 50-foot mural?
That's the 50-footer.
Behind it. She does these. How long have you been doing murals?
It's about 2 years now.
2 years? You're a pro. Were you into this before at all in any way?
No.
Not at all. And did you major in art in school?
Yep, I'm an art major, art education major.
Where'd you go?
I went to Millersville University for my undergraduate degree, and I got my master's from Clark University in Worcester, Mass.
Right over here. My grandfather went there. I didn't know they had an art program. I guess they do.
I got my master in liberal arts, and
Yeah.
I wrote my own master's because they didn't have one exactly
For you, and you
for
did
me. Yeah,
it. That's fantastic. You were originally from, was it Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And you came to Worcester because you had an offering to work as the head person at a nursing home?
Yes. I had been a regional director of 10 homes in 5 states of therapeutic rec, and we had a client in Worcester, and I ended up moving to Worcester.
So you have had the ability to work not just with children in art, but with senior citizens in art.
20 years in nursing homes, and I loved every minute of it.
Would you think you'll go back to that?
I'd go back, sure.
Oh, that would be nice. All right, now we're going to show you some of her mural. These are actually up in what school?
Canterbury Street School.
Why does it say magnet school? What is a magnet?
It's a computer magnet school, so they focus on computers and the skills that go with computers.
Okay,
Some
so
are art magnets, some are computer magnets, some are science magnets.
do these kids have to be high school graduates to come, or no?
These are little kids.
Little ones?
K through 6.
And they concentrate on computer skills. I didn't know schools were doing that.
Yes.
Is it paid for by the city, or can anybody go?
Well, if you're in the district, sure.
Now describe this one to us. This is one of her murals.
Well, these are on the steps. Though I wanted to make it more beautiful. My principal, Mrs. Seeley, asked me a couple years ago if I could brighten up the school and make it prettier. So I started that summer. I dedicate a month each summer, volunteer, and these are on the steps. So it's kind of a curved stairwell with not a lot of bright lighting. And so I tried to capture it with a large mural.
Do they
about
give you
6 by 6.
Do they give you an idea of what to do, or you just come up with it?
No, I just come up with it.
This is amazing. Okay, let's see the
Okay.
next one.
So I like it to be different in each stairwell. So this stairway is urban.
Urban. Now, where is this at the school too?
They're all in the school.
How
There's
long-
30 in the school.
How many feet long is this one?
They're about 6 by 6, the ones on the steps. 6
No.
feet by 6 feet.
These are all been done within 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you find the time?
Just in the summer, I donate 30 days, 7 hours a day,
Yeah.
and then I stop.
Okay, now this one is also on the stairs, right? Is it the curving stairwell?
It is a curve. It looks like a silo on the outside.
You are also, I was reading, a member of the American is it Disability
Commission on
Commission?
Disabilities.
How did you get into that?
Because I worked with seniors for 20 years, and I started as a pet facilitated therapist in 1978 with animals in nursing homes in Pennsylvania, and I was one of the first. The first in Philadelphia, Einstein North and South hospitals with animals for Jerry Psych.
Did you do cats and dogs? Both?
I started with rabbits.
Why did I think that? Okay, yeah.
Because there's a lot of advantage to rabbits.
Yeah.
No dander,
Yeah.
no barking,
No biting.
not much biting or scratching.
No.
And you can train a rabbit to ride on a table.
The rabbit I had, and I loved it, but I don't know, it's feet were so strong, its legs, it would hurt me when I tried to pick him up. I had to give him to some family.
Oh,
I just couldn't handle it. It was just, he hurt.
Oh,
But he didn't bite.
No.
He was beautiful, but his back legs would ball was, oh, wow. He was a strong
There's a
one.
method for that.
There is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Don't pick them up.
Okay, all right, I will pick him up. Alrighty, let's see this next one.
Okay. This is part of the 50-footer.
So this is also at the same school.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Now, where is that in
So
the
this
school?
is in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
And it's about 50 feet long. There's about 7 10-foot panel, or well, this is longer than 50 then. That's why I'm
Yeah.
not the math teacher. There's about 8-foot sections for each classical art.
Yeah.
So I'm building a sign that's going to say, let's learn about the 7 classical arts. It starts with literature, the literature tree, you can see it on the left.
Yeah.
And there's a boy reading under it. My son did that, the boy.
You have a son?
I do, I have a great son, yeah.
How old is he?
30.
Yeah, my son's 27.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And then this represents painting with the palette there. And then it goes into sculpture, film, theater, dance, music, and architecture.
You are covering all the bases.
So by just looking at it, you can read all these trees and learn about literature.
What kind of paint do you use?
Mostly just latex, you know.
Regular, out of
Yeah.
the bucket.
And I go to Lowe's and Home Depot, and they have a mistake rack. They call it the Oops Wrap.
Really?
And you can get a gallon for $9 and a small jar for 50 cents. So that's, but Mrs. Seeley pays for the
How
paint,
did you
of
put
course.
these together with the lines in them? That was just the way they came out copied?
Yes,
that-
well, it's on
Oh, that's
concrete
on the
block.
wall.
Yeah.
That's on the...
So that's what makes it hard to paint, because it is an uneven surface.
You've got to be good with details, let me tell you.
Yeah, so it's an uneven surface.
Well, what's this one?
So this was on the other stairwell. It's the country stairway, and it has all the country scenes. And this is again about 6 by 6.
Yeah.
And every year I add something. So the wolf was the first year.
Yeah.
But this summer I added the black bear. So when the kids come back, they look for all the new things.
Oh, so they're on to you. The kids know you're
Yes.
the muralist?
Oh, yes.
Do they ever come up to you and say, what are you doing? Like, what are you going to do next?
They do ask me that all the time, but I do it in the summer, so it's a surprise. But they like to peek in. When I was doing the cafeteria was hard to keep them from peeking.
Do you do mural anywhere else, Darya? And besides
Not
the
yet.
school? Not get her out there. Now talk about an article. the Telegram and Gazette really did it up.
They did
I
a
mean,
beautiful
look at
article.
this. I could not pass this up. Also,
We've been nationwide.
yeah.
Paper in San Francisco picked this up, and
Yeah.
Dallas.
Well, not only is she talented in doing murals, you also do paper mache.
I do.
So these animals in front of a mural you painted, I thought
I didn't make those though.
You
I
didn't?
salvaged those.
salvage,
Yeah,
like
so-
yard sales or something?
Yard sales, Goodwill. The giraffe was broken, so I used some stencils, some stickers. On the first ones we thought that it would be better to use stencils and stickers than to paint. But it turns out they don't last as well because the kids peel them.
Yeah.
So I did it. Now I just only do it by hand.
Now you got one down here with, is that a paper mache pink
That
elephant?
was a pink elephant that was donated by my hairdresser.
Oh my God! I was looking, oh my
They go
God.
3D. So I glue on birdhouses on the trees, and so I teach them about bas relief, about sculpture,
Yeah.
and so I put some bas relief on the murals.
You have also written 10 songs. What were they?
They're all about musical content. You know, I had a great vice principal, Miss Chuk, and she said to me one time, "Do you think you could talk less so the kids could have more time?" Because we only have a 40-minute class
Yeah,
once a week.
that's it.
So I started to put the lessons to songs. So now I can hand out everything quicker, and we can sing the content while we're working.
Do you do the art while you're listening to the music?
Yes. Well,
That
we
is-
sing it.
You sing it while you're doing it, and everybody comes out differently?
Right. Well, the kids sing
Yeah.
while they're learning. So, we have a very strict curriculum. We teach classical drawing and painting,
Yeah.
7 elements of art. We go through art history. We had responding, connecting. So my master's is in connecting art to all the different subjects. So I use that as part of my curriculum.
Canterbury Street School. Where is Canterbury Street? I'm trying to figure it out.
It's right off of Southgate and Cambridge, right near Cambridge.
You mean where the big Salvation Army thrift shop is?
Yeah, very close
Got
to
it.
there.
Okay. Okay. By the way, we got a great
too.
we've got a great one over in Whitensville. But okay, so you're down in that area.
Right.
So is St. John Cemetery and the other one.
I
Hope
have
Cemetery.
lunch there every afternoon.
You go to the cemetery for lunch? Oh.
They do. There's a lot of beautiful plants there and animals, and it's very peaceful.
And Hope Cemetery. I've got relatives over there. Do you ever go in Sally's?
Oh, I do, and I go to all the cemeteries in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're beautiful, and it teaches you a lot about architecture and the history of Worcester.
Well, the Salvation Army, we call it Sally's. I mean, that's a really old building.
It is.
In Worcester. I mean, what was it originally? A factory?
It was, and that kind of leads me to something I wanted to touch on.
Yeah, go for it.
So I do wire sculpture with the students at Canterbury. I have a collaborative with Stafford Specialty Wire on Stafford Street in Worcester. And he gave us free wire at least 5 years ago now. And Worcester was the wire capital of the world, and our neighborhood was that industrial revolution neighborhood. And so I teach the kids all about the specialties of Worcester, but their neighborhood. They made shoes start down the street, textiles.
What was your neighborhood? Where was it?
It's in that Canterbury neighborhood.
And that was a wire type.
It was made leather shoes at the end street, the Chess King building. They're restoring that now.
They are?
And I teach them all about. We walk in the neighborhood and draw the triple deckers and the double deckers. And I'm hoping to get a grant to take the kids to the wire factory this year.
What a great thing. And so there is at least one left, right? One wire factory.
I think there's two.
There's two.
It's a 3-man operation. It's not a big operation.
Is that where do you buy your wire from them, or do you go to like Lowe's or something?
He gives it to me.
Well, he knows it's going for the school, right?
Yes.
This is exciting. Before we forget, Darya, how can people reach you?
Well, my website is daryakaruna@gmail.com.
Can you spell it, Darya?
Sure. It's DARYAKURUNA@gmail.com.
During the summer of 2017, you painted 20 murals. Last summer it was 18, and one called the 5 Bs?
Yes.
What's that?
Well, we're a PPIS school. That's Positive Behavior in School. And it's be here, be ready to learn, be respectful, be responsible. And there's one more. I can't remember it now. But anyway, there's 5 of them. And be ready to learn. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I just made them look like plants. So I made the bees look like they were the behavior of living things.
That could be.
It's in the stairwell again.
At your home, where you live, are there all kinds of artistic things all around?
Yes, I live on Sears Island.
Where's
and
that?
It's in Worcester on Indian Lake.
Okay, I know. I've heard of Indian Lake.
Yeah, and there's a little island on it, Sears Island. And I live in one of the oldest houses on the island. They used to call them fish shacks.
A fish shack?
So it's only 20 feet by 30 feet. And I have, I love old things, restore old chairs. And
you sell those too?
No, I mean, I just, have them for my home. I find old chairs and have them restored. And, yes, I have a lot of paintings around.
And your son is an artist too, and what? Yeah?
He is, yes.
Did he go to college for it like you did?
No, he's pretty much self-taught.
Self-taught?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30. Yeah, he's a millennial. Oh, no, okay, don't get me started. Oh, God. Now,
he's great.
There is, this is fantastic. Okay, you are the member of the Disabilities Commission, as if you don't have enough, an advocacy group that helps enforce the American with Disabilities Act. And what's your experience with that?
So I worked in nursing homes for 20 years, waiting for my art job. I graduated college in 1982, and that's the year that Prop 2.5, they cut all the art jobs nationwide. So I looked at activities in nursing homes, and I realized it could be a multifaceted department. Mm-hmm. So I was blessed I had a college degree, and so I started off as an aide, and then I built my way up to assistant director. And then by that time I moved to Philadelphia and I worked with Little Sisters of the Poor,
Yep.
which I have. It was a great opportunity and taught me a lot of the values that I have today, seniors. And I was one of the first people in Pennsylvania doing animals in nursing homes.
And the murals for them?
No, I used animals and art,
Yeah?
but animals weren't in nursing homes in 1978. So I was one of the trailblazers, and I started to work with rabbits,
Yeah.
which have no dander, no biting, no scratching, and started to work with them, and then moved to dogs and cats. I got a therapy dog in '82,
Yeah.
and it was
You still
like-
have a dog?
I do. I do.
What breed?
I just adopted a 9-year-old Sato from Puerto Rico.
What's that?
It's a German Shepherd, Greyhound, Collie mix.
Well, that's that's a real mutt. What color is he?
She's red.
Red. How old is she?
She's 9, and her name is Bo.
Oh.
She came with that name.
And she's your name, Kuruna, is absolutely beautiful. Where are you from?
It's the Ukraine. Yeah, it's from the Ukraine.
You're
My
from
dad.
the Ukraine.
is from the Ukraine.
Were you born in America?
Yes.
You were?
Yes.
So you grew up around here, and you grew up in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yep.
Brothers and sisters?
Yep, I have an older brother, Dan. He was a social worker for 39 years.
Yeah.
And I have a sister, Tina, who's a fashion designer.
This is, I am so, this is almost anything you can't do, and that's wonderful. That is, I would say you're a philanthropist. You give of yourself. There are two kinds of philanthropy, right? There's giving of ourselves, or there's giving of money. You actually give of yourself.
I really enjoy that. I'm active in my church, too.
Yes, there's an article here. You are a sacrosanct? What do you call it?
A sacristan.
Yeah.
I clean the church. I've been doing it 17 years. I'm on the activities committee, and I cook one Sunday a month.
Now, which church is it?
Immaculate Conception,
Where's that?
right on the hill on Grove Street and Gold Star Boulevard.
Oh, that big, beautiful
up on
one?
the hill with Father Walter Riley.
How do you find time to clean it?
Oh, I do it Sundays, and then Saturday after confession I clean.
Any Sunday school, or what? I forgot what they call it. Do you ever do it with the children over there, the art?
They have a great lady that does it already.
She's doing it already? If you could go, I know that you've just started at the school, if you could go anywhere in the future, where would you like to be? Where would you like to go?
And do
The murals.
murals.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be open to anywhere, really.
Yeah? Oh, that would be awesome. I can see, even in gymnasiums in high school, in even in a nursing home, assisted living,
Right.
there's got to be one or two walls that would be just so fun when if people
Absolutely.
come out. You'd be good at it.
And I found in nursing homes, a lot of the residents weren't, in their past they hadn't done art before.
Yeah.
But we used art a lot. We found painters that had never painted before that were marvelous.
And they did it.
Yes.
Do you still do the nursing home gig or no?
No, I don't, but I really enjoyed it. I worked at St. Camilla's.
Oh,
and
right in
that was a
Whitensville.
wonderful place.
Yeah.
They were very good to me. West Side House in Worcester.
Yeah?
And that was very exciting.
You liked that one. What
Yes.
was so good about it? What'd you like?
Well, it was all men, and they were all veterans,
Yeah.
and they were much more ambulatory. So we had a baseball game, we had a baseball team,
Yeah.
we had an opening day with
Yeah.
a picnic and a band.
Did you do a mural over there?
No, I wasn't doing
You
them.
weren't doing them
I
yet.
did- no.
You know one other place too is Veterans Inc. That the one on Grove Street.
Okay, I go by it all the time.
Boy, the guys, I bet they'd love to see that when they walk in. It's so awesome.
And like to involve people too.
Oh yeah. Do they ever come over to you and say, "Can I try it?"
Well, they're not around in the summer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you only do the murals when the kids aren't there.
Yes, but this year I've just written a proposal for an art club.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Seeley's so supportive of everything I do. But I was going to use one of the art clubs for the older kids to do the architecture piece of the mural in the cafeteria. So it's a lot of math, and we can totally justify it with perspective and so forth. But I'd like to do a classical architecture piece for the finish off the mural.
I know down in Worcester, I've seen there are a couple of the bridges, humongous murals that they're doing, not far from from the library.
The powwow.
It's Major Taylor Boulevard
Yes.
down near there.
Yeah, they're all over the city. from powwow.
They hire, I think, don't they hire artists to just...
I'm not sure if they're volunteer or if they're paid.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
We had on, I was in UMass not long ago, and I noticed, it was in the neurology section, and I noticed artwork on display.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that they have a woman, she was right here, who conducts, like, it's like art therapy, do what you want to do, with people who have Parkinson's.
Oh,
And it really seems to help a lot.
that's awesome.
I've also read about some guy who has them use a punching bag. Well, my grandmother had Parkinson's, and that wasn't around back then.
Right.
But I think this art thing, you could take that so many places.
Yes. Well, speaking of the Commission on Disability, and that's a real honor to be on that.
Yeah.
You kind of interview, and they kind of let you know right on the spot if you're accepted. You have to get 12 votes to be on the commission. And I'm just an associate because I've only been on about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And that's a big honor, so you get to serve the city that way too.
Oh, definitely. Does that meet once a month?
Once a month down in the Levi Strauss Chamber in City Hall.
Since they're trying to beautify Worcester so much, they're trying to get... Oh, well, again, here I go again. I can just see so many places. Even, have you gone to the DCU Center and talked about what you do?
No,
I would imagine they might appreciate a wall or two over there. Oh, there's so...
I don't think people really know I was doing it.
Oh, they better
I have to
know.
give a shout out to Patricia Plouffe. She's my friend who came over and wanted to see what I was doing all the time, and she's the one that called the Telegram and Gazette. So
Wait a minute, let me see. Her name is on here. It must be... No, Matthew Reed from Wicked Local came over to you.
yes,
No, wait a minute. Nope, sorry.
I'm saying my friend is the person that called the newspaper. Miss Campbell, I think.
Elaine Thompson.
Elaine Thompson.
Okay, Elaine Thompson. I had the wrong...
Yes,
The wrong...
she was lovely. But I mean, a lady friend of mine, who I didn't know, called the newspaper and said she had been there. And that's how they found out about me.
That's how they... Now, do you have someone, or do you have a camera that can take a video and go through all... So you have that to show future clients.
Oh,
Do you have...
no, I didn't.
You
know
don't...
that.
A friend, there's got to be a friend, somebody, who would just go over to your murals and just walk through them, and you could talk a little bit about each one. Get a copy of that so that you could either email it... You email?
Yes.
Right? Email it to people, say, this is what I do. That would be so cool. Playgrounds. Have you thought about some playgrounds?
I haven't painted, well, before we had our new playground at Canterbury, I painted the grounds. I painted a map of Canada, United States, Mexico, and Central and South America.
Yeah.
And all the schools have the United States, but they don't have Canada and everything else I put. And then I did all the game areas, I did all the lines and so forth. Now they have a new playground. And it was designed by Cesar Valente. He's a landscape architect, and I was fortunate enough to work with him. And I designed the games on the ground and the cougar, our mascot.
Do the priest and the other people, the parishioners at your church, do they know what you do?
They do. They've been very supportive. They saw it in the paper,
Oh,
so
gosh.
they're very supportive.
So this is just so much to read about her. Educational murals for the past 3 years. She's filled the 3-story school's hallways and stairways with more than 30 murals. This isn't within 2 years.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're a find.
Yeah,
for
the
somebody.
first summer they were smaller, and then this last summer there was a 50-footer. So I only did that, but it has 8 panels.
Darya, again, how do they get in touch with you?
It's daryakuruna@gmail.com, and it's DaryaKuruna.
When you did it with the help with the art, with the therapy part of it, with the nursing homes.
Mhm.
What did you like to engage them in? Painting or clay, or what did you like to do?
First thing I did when I went into a nursing home was to keep whatever they loved. So I never changed bingo or any of the traditional things that they loved. And art for fine arts wasn't really
Wasn't
in
kicking
nursing
in yet.
homes.
Not
No.
yet. No.
There were ceramics, pre-made ceramics,
Mhm.
and crafts, but not classical painting and clay.
Right.
So that was new. And then I also did a lot of gardening, bedside gardening. One of my biggest things was trying to include everyone in the home on the level they could be reached. So again, that was new. There used to be just 2 activities.
Bedside gardening. What is
started-
that?
Well, when I started at Lancashire Hall in Lancaster, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
they actually had a greenhouse, and they repaired it, and they built waist-high gardens, and the residents of wheelchairs could go in.
Yeah.
But then I realized if you took a tray of soil and things that you needed, you could go bedside for people that couldn't leave their room.
Oh.
So we started doing things like that, crafts that way too. Started going to the resident, which was new.
I think that's awesome. I can picture people sitting there thinking, well, I'm not going to be able to participate in this because I'm bedbound. But now
Well, we took everything to them.
you took everything.
Rabbits, birds, puppies, dogs, cats, gardening, art.
Everything. Do they do in acrylic? Was acrylic, is it popular with that?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
We've got about just a couple minutes left. Darya, she's an amazing. Darya Kuruna, she does murals. She does.
I'm an art teacher.
The art teacher. Paper. You do paper mache. You know how
Yes,
to do that. I
yes.
kind of think that's fun. You let it dry. I think I tried it on I bought a vase at a thrift shop, and I did the paper mache all around years ago. Let it dry. Takes forever.
Yes,
And then
it
I
does.
painted it.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. I had a friend bought it from me.
Oh, wow. You must have done a
I
great
guess
job.
It must have looked okay, right?
Yep.
Darya, before we close again, how can they reach you?
Darya Kuruna at gmail.com. It's DaryaKuruna.
Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
She's just getting started. This is wonderful. Have a safe trip back. You're going to back to Worcester?
Yes, I am.
All righty. I'm going to be back on again.
Okay.
Very talented. See you next time and be my guest. You did a fine job. You did.
Riding on a shooting star,